Lesson 2, A-B split testing. Now, the lesson objective here is to understand the importance of A-B testing in Facebook ads and how it can improve ad campaign performance. We also want to learn how to set up A-B test in Facebook Ads Manager and create testable variations of your ads and creative. Now, you can do this as a manual process. I'm just going to walk you through the button and the optimization options they have inside of Ads Manager. You're also going to learn how to understand how to measure and analyze the performance of your A-B test and make data-driven decisions. You're also going to explore best practices of running effective A-B tests, including sample size, statistical significance, and test duration. Finally, we're going to cover discovering how to use A-B testing to optimize different elements of your campaign, such as ad copy, imagery, and targeting. And last, you're going to learn how to apply the insights gained from A-B testing to improve the overall performance of your Facebook ad campaigns. So A-B split testing. Split testing, also known as A-B testing, is a method of testing different ad variations to see which just performs best. And you want to test different elements of your ads, such as ad copy, imagery, and targeting to see what combination is going to lead to the highest conversion rates and return on investment. We're going to cover a couple steps here because it's very important. You want to make sure that you do this correctly and you're not doing too much all at once. So benefits of the split testing, you're going to allow to test different variables in your avatar, for example. Avatar targeting, ad creatives, such as the ad copy or the image and the videos to identify the best performing combination in the market. Now, in some markets, you may need to refresh image or targeting on a regular basis, like once a week. Other industries may be every couple of weeks, but you always want to be testing to make sure you have the right combination in front of your audience at the right time. You want to optimize your ads for better performance and a better return on investment. And the goal is, of course, higher conversion rates and overall lower cost. The reason for doing proper A-B split testing is you want to make data-driven decisions about your advertising strategy based on concrete evidence rather than, well, quite honestly, a lot of people get into a meeting and they start making a lot of assumptions or guessing on what their market really wants. And it really comes down to proper testing to truly understand what your market wants. You want to stay ahead of the competition by consistently testing and improving on your ads and launching new ads rather than seeing ads fatigue out and dropping off conversion rates. That can be one of the most expensive things that you can do when advertising on Facebook and Instagram and Meta. It's just letting your ads just expire and kind of wither and die on the line. So A-B split testing, some benefits. So again, like I mentioned before, data-driven decisions. A-B split testing is going to provide quantitative data that helps you make informed decisions with your ad campaigns based on actual performance. Again, other than relying on assumptions or intuition. Improved ad creatives. By testing various creative elements, such as images and headlines and different calls to action, you can identify the most effective combinations that resonate with your specific audience for your specific offer. Continuous improvement. We want to be A-B testing to encourage a culture of continuous improvement as you can iterate and refine your campaigns based on, again, the data-driven insights leading to ongoing enhancements in ad performance. We don't want to over-test. I'm going to be talking about that here in just a minute. But we always want to be running consistent tests to make sure that we're fine-tuning our message. It really all boils down to reduced ad spend waste. Identifying the most effective ad elements can help you optimize your campaigns and allocate your ad budget more efficiently while reducing wasted money on underperforming ads. Now, the drawbacks here. Sometimes this can be time consuming depending on how you set this up. A-B testing is going to require time and resources to create multiple ad variations to set up tests, analyze results, which can be challenging for businesses with limited marketing resources. Now, I highly encourage people to be testing different types of copy and themes, not just a red background or a yellow background, unless you're seeing tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people come to your site. If you're under tens of thousands of people visiting your site for a campaign, you really want to only be testing very specific images or headlines and not just testing small little variations. The other drawback is risk of inaccurate conclusions. Now, if an A-B tests are not set up and executed correctly, they can produce misleading and inaccurate results, leading to, well, suboptimal decision making. Test duration. Now, with Meta or Facebook's functionality, the A/B test may require significant duration to gather enough data to produce meaningful results, potentially delaying the implementation of campaign optimizations. So if you're going to run an A/B split test just on your own manually, you can start and stop it at any time. But when you're running it through Meta at the campaign level, well, essentially what's going to happen is they're going to force you to make sure that you run your campaign to produce enough statistical relevance. So it's going to take some of the control out of your hands, but on the other side of it, it's also going to limit how much you can change during the test. The other thing is a lot of people get really concerned about A/B testing. This is why I mentioned the colors before. Is it the blue hue or a green hue or a yellow hue? Well, unless you have tens of thousands or more visitors coming in, relying too heavily on A/B testing can lead to an overemphasis on testing at the expense of other important marketing activities, such as content creation, brand building, and customer relationship management. So remember, it's really important that you want to keep testing. You just don't want to get focused in just on one ad creating 20 different colors. It's not going to be just a different hue of color. It's going to be the combination of the image and the copy that's really going to make the A/B test stand out. Let's take a look at split testing in action. So what we're going to do is we're going to click the button right here for the A/B test. Or again, this can be done at the campaign level when you create it inside of a campaign. And this all looks the same for the user interface. We're going to go ahead and get started. Click on the Get Started button. We're going to make a copy of an ad for this example, or you can select two existing ads that you want to test with each other. So very easy user interface here. We're going to go with make a copy of an ad. It asks me which one do I want to use. I go ahead and I select that I want to go ahead and test the variable of our creative. So what we're doing is for this client is we are running a digital nomad download guide. And what we want to do is we want to test the creative of our PDF download with another type of creative. Okay, so the key metrics that we want Facebook to test for is, well, our cost per lead. Now we want to make sure that the lead's qualified, but right now we're going to go for the cost per lead. Now this is going to include upper funnel metrics to test in the report. This is people that hit the landing page, people who click on the ad. So if we don't get a lot of leads, what was that up funnel signal that Facebook can basically take a look at and make some good decisions? Now, really, there's lots of different key metrics that you should choose from cost per click to 1,000 account center, accounts reach, which is basically CPM. Again, if I'm looking for a head-by-head test, I'm going to look for either website leads or cost per purchase if I'm running for purchases. And if I'm testing a new market, I may use some of these different options. There's lots of different options that you can do in head-by-head test. You can scroll down through all the options if you, when you start to test this on your own. So I do want to include upper funnel metrics in my testing report because I just want to see how it compared with my other ad. Again, these metrics are going to gauge user activities that precede your key metrics. So if I'm optimizing just for sales, it's also going to give you some comparisons of how I'm doing on my initiate checkout or add to cart, or how many people are clicking through on the ad. So is there any other additional metrics that we want to include in the report? You can go ahead and just select that here. We're going to go ahead and schedule out a test. So typically we want to make this test run. I like to run tests for at least 3 to 5 days. 3 days at the bare bones minimum. Ideally, I get some really good information over a 5-day period, all depending on the budget, right? I'm going to go more into the specifics of what I'm looking for in just a couple of minutes. And then that's it. I'm just going to hit the button down below that says duplicate ad set. It's going to duplicate the ad set, and it's going to run an A/B split test directly in a campaign for me. So best practices for split testing. Test only one variable at a time. So if you want to test the messaging, well, just test the messaging. Don't test the messaging and the ad copy and the image or the creative and the targeting, because the problem is it's too many changes. Just test one thing at once. So in this last example, all we were doing is testing the different ad creative. That's it. Just the image. Headline's the same, targeting the same, everything else is the same. Use a large enough sample size to ensure statistically significant results, typically a minimum of 100 to 200 website clicks per variation. What Facebook or Meta is really looking for is to have at least 25 conversions within a 7-day period. Ideally, Facebook says they want 50 conversions in a 7-day period. So if you have 100 visitors to your website and half of them are converting, oh my goodness, that is great. That it gives enough people to the website. You see that people are converting at a high rate. But if you have something that is like a book a call, where maybe every 200 people that visit the website book a call, you're going to want to make sure that you run at least 200 clicks. So We like to run between 100 to 200 clicks, again, depending between what industry, to really see statistical information to give us some easy baselines. So you may consider setting up your split test in Facebook Ads Manager using the built-in split testing tool that we just walked through, rather than manually creating separate ad sets. Give your split test enough time to run before making decisions or changes. So typically at least 3 to 5 days, or until you have enough data for statistically significant results. Just like I mentioned before, if you have a lower budget and you only have 10 or 15 clicks over the week, again, you may want to consider raising the budget so you can get 100 to 200 clicks to really get some easy, better baselines. That also means you're going to want to extend out your test if you have a low budget so you can see those baselines really start to develop. Continuously monitor and analyze your split test results, adjusting your strategy, and just trying new variations to improve your performance over time. Testing is going to help you scale, pause, or end your marketing campaigns. And here's what I mean by that. As you're doing your different split tests, you'll find out your winners and your losers. Sometimes what you're going to want to do is, of course, you're going to want to scale the winners. Sometimes you're going to have an ad that used to work really well and stopped working, but you did a new split test and the new split test won. Well, you may want to pause that original ad, put it in a notebook, come back to it in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and run it all over again. You may be really surprised at how that works. So some campaigns you may want to pause. But by doing additional split testing, if you're not gaining any other traction, you may have some really clear indicators that it's time to end that specific marketing campaign. Recap. So we want to use A/B testing on a consistent basis to consistently improve conversion rates and cost. We also want to be leveraging A/B split testing because it's going to equip us with empirical data, enabling us to make strategic choices for our ad campaigns that's grounded in real performance metrics, as again, opposed to merely speculative or instinctive assumptions. It's all about assumptions. We want to make sure we get the math and facts to all of our numbers. We also want to allow our A/B test a significant time, typically a period of 3 to 5 days, depending on your budget and how many clicks that you see, or until you can accumulate enough data, as I mentioned before. We want to ensure statistical significant outcomes prior to drawing any conclusions or implementing any modifications. Let's move on to lesson 3, special ad categories.